Suppo Kupo, welcome back to the Chao Garden. We're here with another episode of Muramasa the Demon Blade. I know last time we were playing as Kisuke. We were speed running Muso difficulty, which is like the easy or the normal. We were at some battlefield with essentially Kisuke's girlfriend. I don't really remember. Remove the Edo barrier. Remove the Edo barrier. Torihime left to find the Ray line at Mount Fuji. Which way did she go? Apparently she destroyed the Suruga barrier. You can take any shortcut. Any shortcut. Yeah, once again, it's been a while. Oh my god. Do I have items to get out of this? No. Once again, it's been a while for me, so forgive me if I'm saying stuff that you just got done listening to me say in a previous episode. You know, another series of Muramasa recordings, another week or two has passed for me. I honestly don't remember how long it's been. But I'm kind of hoping, based on the pace that we had before, that I can get through Kisuke's playthrough like relatively quickly. And wrap that up soon. For me, soon. For you, you know, just a couple episodes, I hope. I thought there was an item in this screen. I just remember finding Kisuke's plot like more immediately compelling than Momohime's, but now that I can't really remember what was going on, I suppose I'll have to see how easy it is to piece it together again within my mind. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying this game up to this point. I mean, if you've made it this far into the series, I just want to, you know, say thank you. I've been looking at the metrics. I think at this point only like a couple episodes have even come out. Probably like 5 tops. And obviously they're pulling small numbers. But you know, that's okay. I think I've even expressed that in a previous episode on a little rant, is, you know, this kind of content has to be for myself first, and then I just have to appreciate everybody who joins me along the way. So if you are one of them, of course, thank you. I got a little bit of feedback on the, I guess, format, the screen layout. I'm just gonna have the little avatar there. I'm getting rid of the achievement stuff on the screen. I feel like you guys don't really care about that stuff, or you, at least you shouldn't. I mean, that's for me to worry about. If you are really concerned, check out my RetroAchievements profile to check out like how far I've gotten, or like what session I got certain achievements in. But it just feels like a distraction, and I'm hoping that this is kind of like the finalized sort of layout, just having a little character on screen when I'm talking, and leave it at that. Maximize the screen space of the actual game. And if you've made it this far, you know, I'm sorry if I start running out of things to talk about. I sometimes exhaust what I've said and get confused when I've brought something up, maybe on the stream, or if it was in one of these episodes. One topic I did want to talk about, though, was really interesting. I was watching Super Moth Girl's Let's Play of Baroque, and you should definitely check that out if you haven't. Super Moth Girl is friend of the stream, of course, friend of the Chao Garden. She was talking about like seeing thumbnails or videos about this game, Baroque, and saying that the videos with their thumbnails and their titles were reductive to sort of the game's overall message and themes. You know, saying like, this is the cruelest game ever, this is the darkest, most oppressive game ever. When really it's about so much more than that. And you know, that did get me thinking. I'm very anti-clickbait. You know, one of the reasons I think for sure these videos will not get a whole lot of traction is just because I labeled them like episode 1, episode 2. I'm not so artistic, and I don't look back on all the content that I've done that I'm thinking about what I'm gonna name them. In my head, it's best to just label something exactly what it is. Maybe that's to my detriment, but you know, clickbait goes so far in the other direction. It wants all eyes on the thing, even at the cost of being reductive to the art itself. You know, I think my example that's more in line with games that I've played is Majora's Mask, The Legend of Zelda. I've talked about Zelda a couple times already, so hopefully it's on brand. People always call that like the darkest game in Zelda, or it fights for that title with Twilight Princess. And there's the whole like, oh, Link is dead theory that Game Theory put out a long time ago, that everyone who even like knows about Majora's Mask and is familiar with Game Theory, they've probably heard that about it. And I feel like that wasn't exactly clickbait, but when you do these titles for games and the video itself works the way you want it, the clickbait works and people tune in. I shouldn't be fighting these guys. If enough people tune in and their takeaway is essentially what you said in the title or the thumbnail, this clickbait message you had, it kind of changes the landscape of how people perceive the game. And my example of Majora's Mask is that it kind of completely quelled all further discussion about that game's narrative and themes for many years, because everyone just pointed to this one video that you didn't even have to watch. You just had to look at this thumbnail, this title, like Link is dead. And that kind of conveyed the whole thing. And so everyone thought, oh, the narrative is solved. You know, we don't need to think about it anymore. We don't need other alternative ways to sort of dissect this piece of media. This is the understanding of it, and we've moved on. It's not exactly clickbait. It's definitely not the worst case of it, but to me, it feels the same. And it is unfortunate. I essentially left a comment on Super Mosh Girl's video saying as much. And that when we talk about media and we talk about art, you know, perspective is a hell of a thing. Everybody's got a different one. I can play this game, you can play this game, you can watch me or someone else play this game, and your takeaway of it can be completely different than mine. Especially if you just watched someone play it versus playing it yourself, you know? And that's something that's interesting about art in general, and then specifically video games, the medium that you have to interact with them typically to get the full effect. And since we can have completely different interpretations of the same piece of art, you know, usually that's why I don't like to get into debates about like the meaning of a story, and I kind of check out of interpreting stories in general, because it doesn't really matter what one person says. I might feel differently. Timing of when you experience a narrative, you know, what you were going through in your own life at the time can change your interpretation of it. Revisiting something can change your interpretation even further and recontextualize even just that original vision that you had. And so I hate when everything gets completely narrowed down, everyone's view of like a plot or a narrative or a character, it just becomes this one consolidated like understanding and nobody really budges. Isn't that the opposite of what we should be doing? We should, in my opinion, be going around and expressing different, you know, personal interpretations so that we can all kind of broaden our understanding you know, not narrow it. That feels like the opposite of what we should be doing. I don't know. It got me thinking. I thought it was an interesting topic. Not even sure if what I said just now made a lot of sense to you, but yeah, I mean, I think everybody should be thinking about the media that they enjoy, you know, on their own. It's maybe a different topic entirely, but I know that a lot of people, they talk about that meme of like, oh, nice opinion. Did a YouTuber give that to you or something like that? That is a big problem nowadays. That does happen. Younger generations are exposed to the internet, and that is how a lot of opinions are formed. It's important for a lot of people to feel like their opinions are validated, and what better way to have your opinion validated than just like jumping onto the bandwagon of whatever seems like the winning side, so to speak. And how do you find the winning side? Well, you just go to the video with the most clicks and take their opinion. It's like this loop, this cycle that just feeds in on itself. I'm pretty disengaged from social media and like online stuff like that, which is another reason that I know that it's harder for me to get my videos out there. I just don't post on social media or like read it much, but I feel like it makes me healthier as an individual. I try to form my own opinion. Everyone should, and you can do that with a balanced social media intake, but it's really, really difficult. It's such a slippery slope. If I do open like Twitter or whatever, I can see myself very quickly just doom scrolling. Not even really, is it doom scrolling if you're just scrolling endlessly to be entertained? Or is it doom scrolling? Why do they call it that? That must be what it is. You're just sitting there endlessly watching more and more and more content or whatever. Sometimes I do that, but it's just because I'm checked out and I'm not even thinking. That's probably the whole point of it, though. That's probably why people talk about it. That's bad. That's really, really bad. I mean, it's no better than sitting around and watching, you know, TV all day. You know, and not like anything informative, but you're like, oh, I better watch the 24-hour marathon of, you know, Teen Titans Go or whatever. What are those, like, repetitive shows that are the only thing they show on a network? I gotta rewatch all of Family Guy again. Maybe I'm being mean. Maybe, you know, you can like those things, and maybe it sounds like I'm being rude towards those franchises. There's the item, jeez. I'm trying to think of a way to put it that's less offensive to fans of certain properties. That doesn't seem fair. I don't know. A balanced media diet. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about anymore. I'm so lost. I don't even know what got me on this tangent. Doom scrolling, being stuck on Twitter, stuck online. Can you have a balanced media diet? I don't know why I said that. That doesn't even sound like a thing. It's just like taking balanced diet and putting media in front of it. I think it's better to just be off socials. Stay informed in other ways. It's never really been helpful. I feel like all the worst times of my life is because I was on social media looking at other people's lives and thinking like, oh, man, I wish mine was better or something like that. I mean, because otherwise, what are you doing? Otherwise, you're posting that your life is better. It's good for sharing art and stuff, I guess. It's not all bad. I'm probably projecting. This is probably the worst monologue and tangent I've ever been on. And feel free to critique me for my line of thought. I'd love to know more. I just feel like I'm so distanced from social media for such a long time. I have a really biased view of it. It's just a total negative. I mean, at some point, I think I got tired of seeing... I'm just gonna use everything in reference to video games. How about that? In the context of video game culture, as soon as I stray away from that, I feel like I get confused. Sonic Adventure 2 is a game that I love, and I hold very near and dear, and I don't pretend like it's a perfect game by any stretch, or one that everyone should like. But I've seen the discussions of that game go back and forth, like, numerous times, for as long as I've been on the internet. Like, I've seen Sonic Adventure 2 is peak, and I've seen Sonic Adventure 2 is trash, and that would just be, like, all people said about it for years. And I think a lot of people know that game. It's relatively talked about. But as soon as one video blows up and it's just like, is Sonic Adventure 2 as good as everyone says? And then their ultimate opinion is like it's trash or whatever. That becomes the talking point for years. And everyone, for some reason, like, memory holes everything they've ever heard about the game that says otherwise, and we go into some other alternate version of the Sonic cycle, and we just debate that for a couple of years until we flip our opinion again. I don't really get it. It frustrates me. Again, circling back to, people don't really form their own opinions anymore, and then, like, open themselves up to furthering their own understanding. It's just like one person says something and then everyone latches onto that, and then that's the truth. That's gospel now. Because I've stayed away from watching opinionated essays that are trying to dictate whether or not something was good or bad, I feel like I'm not really affected by that anymore. And so when I have gone on Twitter and I see people lamenting, like, oh, here we go, we're all reversing our opinion on this thing again, I feel like I'm distanced from that. I'm inoculated against it. But it's still frustrating to see because it's affecting a lot of other people. I mean, if it affects a game that you know, I'd love to hear, like, how you've seen people's opinions on something you know change over the years. Like, what other properties, what other games, what other media has seen the same kind of treatment that something like... For me, it's been Sonic Adventure 2 is one of the bigger ones. I couldn't point to whose videos. I feel like Pro Jared put out a video a long time ago, back when he was relevant. You know, maybe Game Grumps put out something. It was a lot. It's gone either way. And yeah, maybe watching those videos... For me, I think I saw the older ones. Maybe for me, I was able to take some of the criticisms or some of the positives and weigh them against what I thought I knew about the game. And have a more nuanced take of it, but I don't think that's how everybody looks at it. That's a problem with the digital age. I think I'm just old. I'm Unk. I'm Unk and I'm cynical and... I don't know, it's also bad to just have an opinion on something and then say, okay, my opinion is never going to change because it's just like, it comes from myself and I don't need to change that opinion. It's exactly how I want to view this property. You know, if I retained the same opinion on something like Sonic Adventure 2 my whole life, then I would think it's a perfect game with no flaws, but I think it's better and more balanced to recognize its flaws. God, did anything I just said this entire episode so far make any sense? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills right now. I feel insane. Let's, what level am I supposed to be for this? I'm just gonna go into this boss fight, whatever. All I can really truly say is that Super Moth Girl was making me think. And I went on a wild tangent.
富士に住む龍脈の主たる龍神がこれほどの異変をお許しになるはずがありません。
Dragon God.
キスケ殿か来ると信じておったぞ。だが申し訳ござらぬ。拙者無様許されよ。 虎姫様を知らせたとあっては武士も治れ衛星の恥されどやつき刀折れ今は立つことすらかなわじ
All these soldiers.
あれだけ集めた武者が全滅じゃねえか。
These guys suck.
これが全部龍神の仕業だってのか。
Over 1,000 of us.
竜の鋼の鱗に守られて刃が通らぬ来るぞ
わらわが苦しみに巻き込んでしまったのじゃ助けなど求めなければこんなことにはならなかったのにいくつもの結界を押し破りその都度幾人もの犠牲を払いここまで来たが皆を無意に傷つけただけであった
もっとふてぶてしく主顔をしていろよ。大将が泣き
If a general starts crying, yeah, oh my god. Imagine you're like a soldier or of any rank in the army and you see your general start bawling.
俺はいくら切られようが、おめえのためなら痛くはねえし、くたばる気もさらさらねえんだ。まだ終わらせやしねえよ。
I don't care about pain if I'm fighting for you. Damn. I didn't look at my inventory like the entire way here. I probably should have. Whoa. Funky.
龍神様、お静まりください。稲荷明神の使いでやってまいりました。伏見のゆずる葉にございます。お願いでございます。どうか気をお静めになってお聞き届けくださいませ。
どいてろゆずる葉。ありゃ声なんか聞こえちゃいねえ。 頭に血が上ったやつは説得するよりこっちが早え。足の先までビリビリから。おぼろ流の奥義、とくと見せてやるぜ。
Oh my god. Oh my god, these explosions. Oh, that's right. This haze. Oh, had time to try it. Whoa. Ooh. Damn. Hardcore. That longsword spin is like super helpful for deflecting all those. Wish I could use betting slash, but I think that's ground only, and gonna do 1 damage probably. Well, yeah, I can't hit him. Kama Itachi. Oh, more damage than I was expecting. No. Oh. Oh. Please, I don't know what's happening. Oh my god. This is insane. Ugh. What the hell is happening? This is really cool, but I'm scared. I can't, like, hit him. You have to get rid of the lightning balls to do something. God, that... If that was just, like, some phase that I had to survive, that lasted quite a while. My swords are like all broken. No, not this again. Oh. Come on. Ugh, right when I get the sword back. Please. Oh, he's so close to dead. So happy to be on normal difficulty. That would have been nightmarish on the harder difficulty. Goro Masamune. This level 25. A mere mortal takes on a god and humbling a god achievements. Oh. Cool fight.
鉄のごとき竜輪が豆腐のようだ。真っ赤と村正はよく切れる。これほど痛い目を見ては頭も冷えるわ。狐よ、見苦しきところを見せた。これも人間が各地に因を敷き支流を断って気の流れを変えたがため。今や龍脈は結界線ばかりにあふれ、龍神たるわしも儚く木によって。
I don't feel like I know what the Ray line is, and I'm not sure I ever understood.
流れの行き着く先は何者かに作られた江戸城下の流血。
Edo Castle.
もはや天地を揺るがさんほどに膨らんでおる。
That sounds like a very climactic area to have a fight. I wonder how many more bosses are left, because going to somewhere like Edo Castle sounds like a final boss confrontation.
長藩どう出るかは振ってみなきゃわからねえもんだ。
キスケ、ありがとう。仏様と約束したのに、わらわが弱音を吐いてはいけませんね。
Amitabha.
皆にも申し訳が立ちません。
Who did we fight as the final boss for Momohime? I don't think it was Amitabha, but
狐に免じて許してやろうぞ。おぼろ流と言うたな。ここまで人間にしてやられるとは驚きじゃ。トラヘミにもすまぬんだ。力を貸してやりたいが、すぐにもこの身を伏して弱った気脈を守らねば富士の噴火を招く。流脈細れば今しばらくは誤報も働くまい。江戸全体の結界は消え失せ、鬼門も開かれたことだろう。
who else is there? Oh, Yuzuhara.
犬神が龍脈を操った
Yuzuruha.
おそらく
Got
天
that
門
name
を
a
開
little
か
wrong.
んがため、犬神の魂は再び神に連座するのを願っております。刀に封じられた
Heaven's Gate.
今、それを叶えるには神仏の住む天へと登り、
Hang on, that sounds
神気を吸
familiar.
って力を得る他に方法はないからです。たたり神に力を与えてはいけない。
Oh, that's right,
強大
Inugami.
な魔人となって世にどのような不幸を招くか計り知れません。
いいか、文句は言わせねえ。今度は俺が先に突っ込む番だ。江戸城で大暴れして目を引きつけておとりになる。虎姫はその隙に雑魚は相手にせず一気に駆け込め。
お互いとても生きて城からは出られぬ。
I'm so off my game this episode.
どうしてキスケはそこ
I
ま
mean,
で
if you hate me after everything I've said, and getting a name wrong now and skipping dialogue too early, like, I'm crashing out. It's over for me. I'm falling.
虎姫と並んで晒し首なら悪かねえよ。間もなく尽きる命なら最後までそばにいてえじゃねえか。
Oh, that's right. She's like on parole. Well, okay, not really, because she's on a time limit. She's on vacation. She's only here temporarily. Parole, what the hell? See what I meant about, like, crashing out? I just have to lock in and see if I can finish this game before my brain lights on fire. If we're going to fight Inugami, maybe there will be another boss. Because this is... Did they say it was like the Shogun was possessed by Inugami or something? Or is Inugami in a sword? I could see us fighting someone else as a boss on the way to wherever they are. If the level limit for that previous boss was 25, this one could be like 27, 28. And then there could be another at 30. I don't know. I'm just like speculating. And then one thing I do remember is once we beat the game as Kisuke, we should unlock a new sword. And then we can go back to Momohime's playthrough with that sword and get like a different ending, I think. Pretty sure that's what it said. When we beat the game as Momohime. And then the inverse should also be true. We should already have a sword that Kisuke should be able to equip, and then we can see a different ending with him. Super curious how that plays out. And then maybe once you do both of those, there's some kind of third act. Or fifth act, depending on how you want to look at it. Oh wait, hold on, that's his final act. Attacking Edo Castle in Musashi Province. It probably said that earlier and I'm just blind, huh? Oh my god, I'm never escaping the allegations. Just... Video game player thinks they're good at games, can't even read. In other news, something completely unrelated, Retro Achievements. We're about halfway done with the Wii Launch Event at the time of me recording this. And I'm pretty sure I'm exactly halfway done to getting Grandmaster, which should mean that I just hit Silver. I was checking my profile for something the other day, and then conveniently I saw that they've started awarding event badges like prior to the event concluding. So I have the Silver badge on my profile right now, which is nice. Because I remember one of the big, like, scary things with the GameCube event was that you didn't get the badge until you were the event was over. So if you weren't tracking properly, I'm sure there was more than a handful of people who thought that they had all the points they needed, when in fact they were missing like 1 or 2, and like, oh, I'm sorry, the event is over, like that can't be fixed now. You missed your chance. So having the automatic tracking like show you exactly where you are as well is super nice. I don't have to guess anymore. And that was especially contentious because if you played a game that was a hack, I think, you played like a hack, ROM hack, you got half points, or like subsets were half points, something like that. I think it was ROM hacks were worth half points. Some people probably didn't read that and thought that the rules applied to those the same as any other game, which would be they're worth 1 point. I can just imagine that screwing a lot of people over. And so I saw that. I have the Silver badge for the Wii Launch Event, which is nice. I also saw I had another badge mysteriously in the event section on my profile. It looks cool. It was Gex holding a golden banana, and I was like, well, what's this? I don't recognize this. I followed it to the event link, and if you... I think that this episode should come out timely enough. If you happen to catch this episode anywhere near the time it comes out, and you use Retro Achievements, there is an event going on right now until August 2026 for collectathons. There are 3 tiers to the badge. You get 1 point per, I think, 1 point per like a point that it was worth in the set. So they're pretty much just taking achievements that are worth 1 through 5. And oh boy, how to explain this? I feel like I'm just saying it in a confusing way. So for something like Spyro the Dragon, it's just collectathon games, so a lot of them are platformers. For Spyro the Dragon, they might... every game can have a maximum of 10 points that you can earn towards the event. It has to be specific achievements for some reason, which is annoying, but there might be like 3 of them that are worth 1, 1 that's worth 2, so that's a total of 5, and then 1 that's worth 5 for a total of 10, and then that's it. So you could earn, like, towards this event, 10 points from Spyro. But if you didn't finish the game, or you didn't get the one that was worth 5, you could still get, like, the other ones for 5 points. The only reason that really seemed relevant is because the middle badge was, you had to get, instead of, like, around 10, like 10, 20, 30, 40, it was 125, and I thought, well, how do you earn 5 points? And I had to go look into it. I don't know. All that's kind of besides the point. I'm explaining meticulous detail for some reason. It's a collectathon event. You earn points towards the event retroactively, too, so if you've already been playing collectathon games, which I have, it's one of my favorite genres, then you might already have progress towards it. Very nice for me. It means I'll probably, in the next couple months, be putting out more Let's Plays or doing some streams of games I've been really wanting to play for either the stream or, like, my whole life. Ape Escape is on there. I've always wanted to play Ape Escape. My entire life I've wanted to play Ape Escape. Never done it. I need to play 5.5 games, I believe, in order to get enough points to get the Silver badge, and then I think After that, I think I'm a little done with Retro Achievements events for a while. I've been doing nothing but grinding Wii games, and like, I want to take a break, but if I do that, I'm gonna run behind on the event, and I don't want that either. Like, I have FOMO. And that kind of sucks. I don't want that FOMO. So I think I'm just gonna stop at the silver badge. And the nice thing about the silver badge for me is that it's artwork of Spyro holding a crystal from Crash Bandicoot. And those are really, really important, informative games for me. And so I'm gonna stick with that. It's gonna feel kind of bad as a completionist playing games that are for completionists. Do not get the maximum tier of badge, but the max tier of badge is Mario holding a golden Jiggy. So, never been a big fan of Mario. I'm not the biggest fan of him. I do like his collectathon games. They're probably my favorite games that Mario's ever made. I mean, the guy has a lot of games. Yeah, I'm happier just quitting while I'm ahead, because otherwise I have to play like twice as many games. I probably have to play almost every single game on that list. And I saw there's like Stuart Little 2. Listen, nothing against Stuart Little, but I've never played his game. I don't remember the movies. I probably saw them. They're almost assuredly licensed kids games. I feel like I don't need that in my life. Unless the chat and you, the viewers, want me to suffer. And it gets, like, voted or something. Like, that's the only reason I would ever play that game. But yeah, I don't want to do that. Or, you know, maybe someone pops up and says, actually, Stuart Little, the game, is one of the best collectathons of all time. Legitimately, not even a joke. People don't talk about it. Underrated.
お酒もございますよ。村雨、庭雨、直雨と言いまして、どれもいい心持ちで酔えるんですが、村雨は村を出たあたりで酔いが冷めます。庭雨は庭に出た途端に冷めて、直雨は飲んだそばから直に冷めるお酒です。
Sure.
この世に恐ろしいもの聞いたことがないじゃん。
I feel like I remember hearing that dialogue before. But I don't remember the old lady's dialogue. I must have just ignored her.
よく出くわすじゃねえか。これはきっと前世で何か縁でもあったに違いねえ。お、せっかくだ。一杯おごってやるぜ。とかっこつけたいところだが、あいにく懐は相変わらずだ。
I don't know if he's just like saying that to say it, or if he genuinely means it, but that would be so kind of him if he actually wanted to buy Kisuke a drink. That seems really, really kind for just like a traveler. He added some alcohol to the water. It's pretty funny. I'll have to remember that one. Why am I collecting those? God, I have such a... That's my collectathon, like, brain taking over. I already know that picking up those souls is a waste of time. Yeah, I've heard this before too. The Grand Hot Pot, Volume 3 and 4. 4 Hot Pot and Chunko. I don't know what that... Chunko? What is that? Yep. I gotta stop talking to these people. I've already heard what they had to say. I got somewhere to be. Oh, is this gonna lead right into like a castle? Ah. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I just thought of Mitsurugi, the character in Soul Calibur, Soul Blade. And then once I thought of him, I just thought of Soul Calibur 2. Man, I used to love Soul Calibur. You guys ever play that? Any of them? The first one I ever played was Soul Calibur 2 on GameCube with Link from The Legend of Zelda, and I'm like, that game is so awesome. I really liked that game. I don't know, I think I beat the Weapon Master campaign thing that was in it. Way back when I was younger. But I don't remember much about it. Huge monster moved into the castle, but no more of my kind left. Okay. So I haven't heard these dialogues before.
上様のお決めになった生類憐れみの霊ってのね、お犬様に手でも出そうものならこっちが打ち首よ。
I remember buying another Soul Calibur game on like Xbox 360 and playing it, but just didn't hit the same as Soul Calibur 2. And I went back at one point and played the very first Soul Calibur game. I think it was just called Soul Edge though. It was on like PS1 and Sega Saturn or Dreamcast. I remember liking that game too, surprisingly. A fighting game where the main gimmick is that everyone has like a weapon, a martial weapon, is awesome. I've heard this. I've heard that guy talk about that before, I swear. I don't remember the other dialogues though. It's so strange. Strength plus 7. Yeah, I wish I had like kept up with the Soul Calibur series a little more. Like I didn't play 3. I don't think I played 4 unless that was the 360 game. I feel like it was Soul Calibur 5. Yeah, those games always seemed awesome. I don't know. Fighting games always seemed cool, but it's predominantly like a player versus player experience. I think I really liked the Weapon Master mode in Soul Calibur 2 because it felt like this big, long campaign with like lots of different stuff to do and collect in a game that's otherwise more of a PvP sort of affair. Also why I liked some of the older Mortal Kombat, or like the PlayStation 2 and the GameCube Mortal Kombat games, because they had these coins you could collect and you could like go and buy stuff in a shop, like concept art and more characters and whatever, and, like single player like story modes that might have weird control schemes where you wander around an open world and, wow, like how cool. Stuff that you can sink your teeth into instead of having to go like find other people to play against, because you know we obviously didn't have internet connectivity in every game like we do now. Nowadays you might get some kind of arcade mode with like nice cutscenes, but then after that, you know, which takes a couple hours, you got nothing to do except train and go online and like play ranked against people. And I've shared my experiences in the past. I bought Marvel vs. Capcom 3 right when it came out. Probably one of the only fighting games in my life I ever bought day one, because I knew it was going to have Zero from Mega Man, one of my favorite characters of all time. And I had played the original two Marvel vs. Capcoms growing up. I had them on PlayStation. Those just had Mega Man though, or at least Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had Mega Man. I can't remember. I played a lot more 2 than 1. But yeah, not having Mega Man and having Zero instead was a fine trade-off to me because I liked Zero's character more. So I bought that game, played the hell out of it, practiced against my friend who also really liked Mega Man, and I thought that we got pretty good. I went into like one online match. The guy just like spammed the screen with shit. Projectiles. I can't remember what character he was playing, but it was like there was stuff flying all over the screen. My friend had never played like that. The AI had never played like that. And I was like, that's just anti-fun. You don't want to play neutral or whatever. I didn't know it was called neutral back then. I was such a newbie, but gotta remember not to fight stuff. Yeah, it seems so anti-fun, and I got rocked so hard by it that I was like, okay, if this is how people play this game online, then I don't want to play online. It's not worth it to me. And then I had another wake-up call later in life when I was playing Smash Brothers Brawl. I had the internet when I played that one. And I would play against just like one friend on the internet. And he was really good. He was a lot better than me. But I would start to get some wins off on him, and I thought, okay, I'm getting better at the game. And I signed up for an honest-to-God, like, tournament online. I got into the very first round, the first match. The guy spanked me, like, so hard. Barely got any percent on him, and he took every one of my stocks. Just untouchable. And I'm like, okay, you know, this is reinforcing that fighting games are not for me. The skill level is so far beyond me. Like, I don't want to dedicate my life to getting that good at these games to the point where, like, if I play against an average person, we're not even playing the same game. You know, I can't play this as a party game with my friends anymore because I'll whoop them so hard that they'll hate my guts. And I've played against people who are like that in my friend groups on certain games. It's not fun. They either have to hold back and patronize you, or they have to just play normally, in which case you don't get to really have any fun. And that's just how I view it. If you wanted to get better at the game, then yeah, it's good practice to go up against somebody who's probably better than you and like learn. But when you just want to play the game a bit and then move on, it sucks. I did also go to some local Smash Brothers Ultimate tournaments. Or was it Smash 4? I think it was Smash 4. And I remember my skill level was so far above all but one other person's that it was like a joke. And then this one guy, it was like Smash Brothers Brawl all over again. Like, he was untouchable. Every single local that we would have, it'd be the same story. I'd get to top 2. I'd get to the finals. I'd go against this guy. He was untouchable. I couldn't lay a finger on him. It wasn't even fair. I've always wanted to like get kind of into fighting games, but I always just get stomped so hard. Like, I can play the campaign of fighting games usually on a hard mode and finish that. So going into the PvP environment, it's so different. It's so hostile. Never felt worth it. And yeah, since they... Whoa, hello. Since fighting games have had really stripped back single-player modes in recent years, I mean, it's made less and less sense for me to keep buying fighting games to even like slowly get better at them. It's like online or bust. Fighting games didn't really contribute to my disdain for PvP overall. I used to play PvP games as much as anyone. But nowadays I'm very against PvP. Like, it's not to my taste whatsoever. And so I've just kind of consigned myself to the fact that I will never really play another fighting game. Unless it's got, like, once-in-a-lifetime characters. Inverted pillar and auto recovery. I think the last fighting game that I bought, not that like came out, but that I bought, was Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, because I just like Marvel, or rather I like Capcom characters. And so the addition of the Monster Hunter character in Infinite was like so cool. It's a shame that that game is ass. It's a really bad game in a lot of, or it looks terrible. It's got a bad art style, I think. It's very much Marvel forward with its storyline. Like, I think it's mostly against a character from the Marvel universe who's the main bad guy, and I don't know anything about the Marvel universe. So it's kind of rough for me. And then even if I wanted to go online, that element of the game is kind of dead. Yeah, I don't know. It's a shame. I've got nothing really against fighting games. After everything I've said, I don't, like, hate fighting games. I like them. I'm just not good at them, and people who play games online are mean. People are not very sportsmanlike. I think that's what ultimately made me stop playing PvP games. You could distill it down to that. The average online video game player in a competitive environment is unsportsmanlike. And I just don't have the patience for that. When I can just go do anything, I can go play any game on my own and have a good time and not... Like, I can kick myself, sure, but I'm kicking myself if I'm doing poorly in a PvP game, and then everyone else will be sure to let me know it. Even if I'm doing well, people will probably harass me. The lose-lose. I've actually had this, something a friend said to me, like a few months ago, I think. It's been living in my head rent-free. Because I just didn't understand it. This friend said that I was... Oh man, what did he say exactly? What's the phrase? Like a sore loser. Something like that. And I thought, what do you mean? Like, I think I'm I think I'm sportsmanlike, and I take losses well. Like, I don't mind losing in the game. But I have no idea what gave him that impression, other than, like, this same friend is somebody who would beat you and then gloat about it. And that's something I don't take kindly to. I don't even know what games him and I would have played together. But, like, if I lose in a board game or whatever, you know, I try to be an element of chaos if I'm playing in, like, a card game or a board game. I kind of just do whatever play because I think it makes the game more interesting. With, like, you know, playing in my best interest, but also if I have some card that seems like it's just going to, like, if you use it, it will make everyone's life worse, including your own. So it's probably better to, like, trade out or something. I mean, I'm just going to use it. I'm going to ruin everyone's day. Because that makes me laugh. And if it's shared pain, then that's fine. Inflicting, like, targeted pain can sometimes seem, like, cruel, and I'm not out to win exactly. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm a sore loser, but... I mean, when somebody that you're, like, friends with says something like that, I don't know, you take it personally. Yeah, if you beat me in a game, and then you stick your tongue out and go, haha, you suck. I'm so much better than you. God, you're terrible. Oh my god, that shit boils my blood. I'm getting, like, heated even just thinking about someone saying that to me. Ah, that's the worst. That's why I don't play games, like, competitively. Even my own friends would say stuff like that. That's ugh. Ugh. I want to stop talking about it. You know, if you win, just have some civility. Good game. You know, let's have another one. Or, you know, that was fun. Let's do it again sometime. But, that poking and prodding and, like, kicking you while you're down, what's the point? League of Legends is the worst game of all time. Enough said. I feel like it's just better to leave that hanging there. Oh, this has been fun, huh? What a weird and wild episode this has been. Whatever I was talking about at the start, I felt like an idiot. I don't even know. I felt like I got so off track that I couldn't let it go. And now I'm thinking about other stuff that's making me mad. This castle's on fire, and we're almost at... This is the final boss right here, huh? Well, I don't even know. If you were actually this far into this series, thank you so much. I really appreciate that you've been watching. I hope to see you in the next one. I have no idea how long the next one's gonna be. It's gonna be the finale for Kisuke. I guess we'll check out what's in the post game. Stay tuned for that. Take care. Peace out.